Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch the interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me. Hello and welcome to a special interview for The Wire. In exactly a week, it will be 4 months since the Manipur crisis started, and yet sadly, there's no resolution in sight. What's worse is that some people believe there is now a serious potential for the situation to get considerably worse. Joining me now to talk about the situation in his home state is the chairman of one of the most highly regarded civil society organizations from the Meitei community, the chairman of the World Meitei Council, Heigrujam Nabashyam.
Thank you.
Mr. Nabashyam, as I said in that introduction, in exactly a week's time, the Manipur crisis will be 4 months old. So let's start this interview by talking about how governments, both in Delhi and in Imphal, have handled the crisis. In your assessment as chairman of the World Meitei Council, how well or how poorly has Chief Minsiter Biren Singh handled this crisis over the last 4 months?
The whole thing started on May 3rd afternoon. There was this protest rally against the Meitei's demand for AST. That was okay. Okay means they have the democratic right. But when they started this rally, and in the afternoon, when the protesters in huge number came with sophisticated weapons that day in the afternoon, started attacking Meitei homes, Meitei houses, and even looting, raping.
But tell me about the handling of the crisis by the Chief Minister.
I will come to the point. In fact, that day, I don't know if there was any governance. The governance was non-existent. It was not at all. There was no government during that period of time. I was in the office.
You're saying on that critical day,
yes,
government failed.
Terribly failed. I will tell you why. That huge protest associated with armed militants, we could see it in the video, you must also have seen, that the governments, if they wanted to, could have controlled it then and there only.
Why didn't they?
I don't know. That's the thing. And I will tell you one thing.
You must have asked yourself in the last 4 months,
I will tell you one
why
thing.
did Biren Singh fail to control
I will tell you one thing. That day the vice president was there in Manipur, in Imphal. I think he must be tied up with the BC, the vice president. But the state's intelligence, the DGP, the additional DGP, all the ASPs, what they were doing?
To answer that question, why did all of them fail to control the violence?
That's the thing. There was no governance at that period of time. If they could have controlled it in half an hour or 1 hour, this should not have happened.
If there was no governance, that means the fault lies with the Chief Minister. He's head of the government.
Yes, no doubt. But what is happening with the union minister?
Let's stick to the Chief Minister. We'll come to the central government later. You're saying to me that at a critical time when Manipur needed the Chief Minister to be effective, he failed the state.
So I will tell you, if I were the Chief Minister, I would have suspended, kicked out the DG or the whole intelligence. But if the government was working, is a working government, he should have control the DGs, his intelligence chiefs.
Why did he fail? Is he incompetent?
I mean, yes,
must
that
have-
could be the thing. But
you must have asked yourself that question 100 times. It's 4 months that have gone by, and even now, there is no law and order.
But there is something which is peculiar with Manipur. Manipur is not very much in the control of the Chief Minister. It's the Union Ministry.
We'll come to the
See,
Union Ministry.
one
in a
thing,
moment, sir. Let me put this to you. In any other state, ordinarily, if a Chief Minister had failed to control law and order, the Chief Minister would be dismissed.
Manipur is
In
different.
Manipur, the Chief Minister has failed for 4 months. Not 1 day, 2 day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months. Yet he hasn't been dismissed. Is that understandable, or is that a terrible mistake by the central government?
Mr. Karan, Manipur is not like other states. It's a different state. See, you must have heard the Honorable Home Minister in the Parliament. He said, Honorable Home Minister, he said Biren will be there because he is cooperating with the centre. The thing is, Manipur is like a proxy government. The state government is like a proxy government. This is from the very beginning. It's different with other states.
Not necessarily, but I'll accept your explanation if you insist on it. The truth is that until Kuldeep Singh was invited, everything was under the control of Biren Singh. Kuldeep Singh was only invited as head of the Unified Command at the end of May. Till then, 26 days had gone by, and even in those first 26 days, the Chief Minister was unable to enforce law and order. And I'm asking you a simple question. Why do you think he failed?
Yes, that is his responsibility. He should
but
take
why
the
do you think he
responsibility.
failed? Is he incompetent?
I don't know. I don't in the sense, yes, it could be, but then he always takes advice from the Home Minister. Every hour he takes. This is what he said.
Let me give you another reason why the Chief Minister should have been removed. One is that he has failed for 4 months to enforce law and order, and that's his main duty. But there's a second reason. He is today looked upon with distaste, anger and dislike by every Kuki. They don't trust him, they have no faith in him. And that is 16% of the population. Secondly, 15 out of 32 MLAs of his own party have publicly expressed a lack of confidence in him. 8 of those MLAs are Meitei. In June, they sent a memorandum to the Prime Minister's office to say the public has lost confidence in this government. Clearly, Biren Singh is an obstacle to peace. That's the second reason for removing him.
See, for all the reasons, we can discuss. But regarding these Sin Kuki people opposing the Chief Minister, this is a very complicated thing. In the sense, if you, in fact, say that these Sin Kuki people do not agree with the Chief Minister, they oppose the Chief Minister, then that's a different thing, because they are the people who cause the whole problem. See, right from the top of the DGs and to the SPs, they were all in touch with this ITLF, these Sin Kuki people.
Mr. Nabashyam, I cannot let you sit in front of me and make this a Meitei narrative without my then bringing in the Kuki side of the story. The truth is, the Meiteis believe the Kuki are narco-terrorists. That's what Komi calls them all the time. Your Chief Minister refers to them as illegal, as members of the drug trade, as people who encroached on forest land. The Kuki say the opposite, that they are trying to ethnically cleanse us, that they are in fact trying to claim that we are foreigners and we are not. They are denying the fact that we belong to Manipur. There are two sides to this story. Let's not get lost in that. Let's stick to the way it's been handled by the government. Would you accept that your Chief Minister has been incompetent? I'm asking that for the third time.
Let me say like this. State is an institution. If the Sin Kuki people challenge this institution of the state, how can you say that they are innocent? How can you say that the government is prosecuting them? They have encroached the forest areas. They have everything which the state says this is illegal. So how can you do that?
Let's come back to Biren Singh. You said a moment ago that the Home Minister in his speech in Parliament had said that we will retain Biren Singh because he's cooperating. I ask you, does cooperating make up for the fact that he's failed to control law and order? Does cooperating make up for the fact that he doesn't have the confidence of 16% of the population? He doesn't have the confidence of 15 of his 32 MLAs. Does cooperation make up for that?
One thing, this 16%, as you said, 16% of Chin Kuki people, they are there are huge populations which do not accept the institution of the state. Can you accept this?
What institution of the state?
The
does they
state
accept?
institution,
Like
the
what?
state government
Like
is
what?
institution.
How do you know they don't accept it? 7 of those are members
Well,
of the BJP.
I'll tell you how. The government said this is forest encroachment. You cannot do forest encroachment. They have evicted. You cannot plant poppies in the hill area. They did it. And the government, when the government say,
Can I stop you?
okay, sir.
Brinda, Thanglongtam Brinda has gone on record to say that the Chief Minister is protecting drug lords. The drug lord that she caught was a district council member of the BJP. She's given details of that to me. The case is in fact lying in the Manipur High Court. She's even accused the Chief Minister of interfering in the course of justice. She said all of that to me, and she said it separately to another website. So the drug trade is one in which the Meitei are involved as much as the Kuki. Let's leave that aside. When it comes to forest encroachment, the Kuki turn around and say that you don't understand the nature of their cultivation, that you are deliberately declaring areas to be forest land to try and deprive them. I'm saying to you again, let's get out of this Kuki Meitei narrative. Let's focus instead on the nature of governance. You began by saying that the Chief Minister, if he wanted to, could have controlled the problem within 24 hours. He failed. The DGP failed, you said, the entire system failed. I'm asking you why.
It is necessary for me to tell you that this Chin Kuki people, they do not agree with this institutional order. Government say we are not allowing this poppy culture. Government say no encroachment in the forest area. They have to agree. And one thing is, when, as you mentioned, that lady fighting against the Chief Minister, let them do it. And then let the law take its own course. So what? I'm not against anyone.
Let's come back to the subject we're talking about. Why should the Chief Minister not be replaced? He's failed to control law and order for 4 months. He doesn't have the support of 16% of his population. He doesn't have the support of 15 out of 32 BJP MLAs, 8 of whom are Meitei. Why should he not be replaced? A new man might handle the thing much better.
In fact, that the Home Minister, Honorable Home Minister, should answer that question.
I'm asking you your opinion.
He enjoys, it seems, Biren enjoys this, at least a majority of the MLAs. That is why he's still in the chair. And the question of Kuki-Chin people opposing the Chief Minister is almost irrelevant. In fact, they are the ones who started the whole issue, the whole violence.
You're saying to me that the fact that he cooperates with Delhi is more important than the fact he's incompetent in controlling law and order, and he's not acceptable to the Kukis, and he's not acceptable to 15 out of 32 BJP MLAs. That's just one MLA below a majority.
Their politics is, I don't want to go into their politics. But the thing is, these Chin Kuki people, when they say we oppose this Chief Minister, the first question is, how dare you oppose this institution of the state?
How are they opposing the institution of the state? There are loads of people in India who oppose Mr. Modi. It doesn't mean they're opposing the institution of the state. You have a right as a democratic citizen to say, I don't like the Chief Minister, I oppose him. What's
On 3rd May itself, they started attacking the Meiteis with sophisticated weapons.
Hang on a
They
second.
do not agree with the institution.
That
starts the whole.
I have to point this out of fairness and objectivity. The Kuki claim that the violence was started by the Meitei. There are many who believe that in fact the Meitei have been looting, arson, raping and killing in Imphal. We've seen those videos too. Both sides have done horrible things. Don't try and make it as if one side's done it alone.
Mr. Karan, I think you better do some research, more research work. Who started this violence is quite obvious. It's open to the world.
It's not.
And I wonder how
Forgive me,
you
it's
still not clear who started the whole
it's not.
violence. One thing I will
A
tell you.
lot of people
Let me
believe-
give me 30 seconds. Give me sorry. Meitei, we do not attack normally to others. In fact, Meitei is basically being our Vaishnavite culture. We are soft and
Can I
considerate
tell
people.
you what the Archbishop of Imphal said to me in an interview? Archbishop Dominic
Sure.
Lumon. He said 249 Meitei churches were destroyed in the Imphal Valley in the first 36 hours. And let me finish, he does not believe the Kuki did it because the Kuki were running for their lives. He said other elements, and he was hinting without naming them, Meitei Lipon and Arambai Tengol were responsible. I'm sorry, that is the Archbishop of Imphal saying it. He's gone on record.
When the war starts, we call it war, when the war starts, everything is fair in war. Something like that. Why did they start the war? When the war starts, people get excited. You know,
Can we-
burning.
can we-
And one more thing, in Churachandpur, in the same place where this whole started, in Churachandpur, these Chin Kuki people who claim that we are Christians, they burned Meitei churches. There were 3 Meitei birth churches, and the pastors, Meitei pastors' houses were in Churachandpur. They were burned down.
Again, I
you know
have
that?
to point out to you that in an interview to me, the Archbishop of Imphal categorically denied claims made by Mr. Himon Thangjam, claims made by Babu Varghese, that 4 Meitei churches in the hills had been destroyed. The Archbishop denied it. More importantly, the Archbishop held up a document and said, today I know that there are 13 Meitei churches in the hills that are intact. Now, I'm only quoting what the Archbishop of Imphal said to me. He's sitting in Imphal.
See one thing, 13 churches, that could be in other
Why is
areas,
it
in Naga areas. But in Kuki areas, there is no Meitei churches now, all burned down.
Can I suggest something?
And you said
Can I
that our
suggest
bishop
something?
said,
Can we go back to the question I asked rather than make this an attempt to bash the Kuki?
no, it's
Because-
not Kuki basing, I'm telling you the facts.
But
You
those are
do the
not
research.
facts that are relevant to the question I asked. Let's go back to the key question I asked. We wasted 20 minutes.
Sure, go.
Do you believe the Chief Minister has handled the situation competently over the last 4 months?
Yes, it may not be. It may not be that I mean, in the sense, he could have done much better. That I agree. He could have done much, but that doesn't justify the violence that the Kuki people
Hang on a
have
second.
started.
It doesn't justify the violence from the other side either.
Who
Okay,
started it? Who started it?
Mr. Nabashyam, I know you're a Meitei. I know that you're the chairman of the World Meitei Council. Therefore, I know that everything you say will be colored with a Meitei perspective. But don't force me. I have to keep making this a Kuki versus Meitei battle because that serves no purpose at all. And remember, this interview is happening at your request. And remember that you had assured me that we would not get into a Kuki versus Meitei battle. Now, you
Sure.
agree that the Chief Minister could have handled things better. Do you think he should be removed because he hasn't handled them well enough?
Why should he be removed? Why he should be removed?
Isn't it possible?
He enjoys at least more than half of the MLAs, the confidence of half of the MLAs.
Let's come now to how the central government has handled things. In the speech that he gave in the Lok Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah explained the problem that began on the 3rd of May in terms of an influx of illegal Kuki immigrants from Myanmar after 2021. That is certainly what the Meitei believe, but it is not an explanation that the Kuki accept. Their explanation is very different. Shouldn't the Home Minister have presented both sides' views to Parliament rather than only the view of one side? And if he is only going to present the view of one side, doesn't that make him partisan and one-sided?
I think the Home Minister must have got his information from the IB, from CIA, from Central Bureau Investigation, IB. Central government has lots of intelligence wings in Imphal, in Manipur, in whole Northeast. I don't think state government, he must be depending on the whole intelligence state government. If he depend on the state government, he could have done much better because...
Let me tell you what a leading Meitei human rights activist, the director of Human Rights Alert, Babru Loitangbam, said to me last week. He said the Home Minister has made the situation in Manipur worse. He said this claim that the problem started because of illegal cookie migrants coming from Burma after 2021 is at best a half-truth. It's made the situation worse. And Babu Roytangmam is one of the most highly regarded Meitei human rights activists. He's from your community. He's not cookie.
Maybe his knowledge is half-baked. Maybe his knowledge is half-baked. He doesn't know the reality. Maybe he's not in Imphal. Maybe he's not in Manipur.
He's frequently in Imphal. He has an office in Imphal. He's under threat from the Meitei Lipon and the Arambai Tengal because of the views and position he's taken.
See one thing, there are many people who speaks for the cookies also among the Meiteis. They are not threatened. They are not threatened. Why he should feel that he is threatened?
Let me give you a second reason why people think that the Home Minister made a mistake. The first reason is that it's a one-sided narrative. It makes him look partisan. The second reason is that it is his job as Home Minister to bring the Kuki and the Meitei together, to reconcile them. What he ended up doing is to, in fact, infuriate the Kuki. Look at the number of people from the Kuki community who have sharply criticized the Home Minister. The Kuki Impi, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, the Committee on Tribal Unity, and all 10 Kuki MLAs, 7 of whom are from the BJP. All of them have condemned the Home Minister. So at a time when the Home Minister needed to reach out to the Kuki, to embrace them, he's actually offended and annoyed them. That was a terrible mistake.
On the other hand, what I feel is, in fact, when we met the Home Minister in Imphal and told him, in fact, submitted our submission that, sir, please abrogate this SHU arrangement, suspension of operation, because there are 40,000 strong Indian security forces in Manipur. And because of this SHU arrangement with the Chin Kuki people, these security forces are ineffective. And during that period, we suffer the most. You know one thing, the maximum,
You're not answering the question I asked you.
I'm putting the other way around.
You're not even putting the other side. You're simply changing the subject. That's different to putting the other side.
No.
I asked you a simple question. The job of the Home Minister is to reconcile people who are divided, to bring those communities together. Instead, by presenting a Meitei narrative in Parliament, he's offended and annoyed the Kuki. His chances of reconciliation between warring communities has fallen to zero. That's the point I'm saying. That's a mistake.
Why I said is, if SHU is abrogated, and if the Assam Rifles and the security forces under the Home Minister become effective, this whole violence will stop immediately within 48 hours.
Do you know that there are newspaper reports, including, I believe, and I'm saying this from memory, the Indian Express and the Hindu, that have said 4, 5, 6 weeks ago that the majority of the stolen weapons, right, have fallen into Meitei hands, not Kuki hands. I'm quoting newspapers. And secondly, there are also reports that say that the majority of weapons surrendered by the Sioux groups are said to be intact. These appeared in the Hindu and the Indian Express 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. I'm saying it from memory, but it's there. You only need to look it up. So that counters the claim you're making about Sioux.
Mr. Karan, see, one thing is, we were never prepared. We never thought, even in our dream, we never thought that Chin Kuki people would attack us. Because there are some 8,000 to 9,000 Chin Kuki people living among the Meiteis. In fact, when they started this violence, for example, they in fact put their own brothers and sisters in Imphal area
and the Kuki
into danger.
The Kuki claimed that the attacks happened in Imphal at the hands of the Meitei, who turned upon the Kuki, burnt their homes, burnt homes of ministers, burnt homes of MLAs, raped their women, and worse still, killed them. So both sides have claimed the same against each other. I keep saying to you, let's not go into that. Let's not go into that. I'm not interested. I really am not interested. If you insist upon making this a Kuki Meitei narrative, it's probably better to end the interview. It serves no purpose. Let's try and be sensible and answer questions analytically rather than emotionally and communally. Let's now come to the Prime Minister's handling. For 79 days, the Prime Minister said absolutely nothing. After that, if you add up the time he spent on 3, 4 different occasions talking about Manipur, it's still under 10 minutes. That means in 4 months, 1 week short of 4 months, the Prime Minister has spoken about Manipur for a time that is under 10 minutes. How do you respond to that?
I also wonder, because the Prime Minister should have said something specific. He should have said something specific, done something specific. Till now he said, I am in touch with the Home Minister every now and then, and that was his answer. I am also shocked, like you.
Do you feel let down?
Definitely. Because we are the one who has suffered so much.
Let me put it like this. The Prime Minister is not just the most powerful man in the country, he's the most popular. What are the things you believe he should have done which he's failed to do?
I think he should have asked his Home Minister to stop this violence within 48 hours. If the government of India is willing, really intends to do it, it can be stopped within 48 hours, even less than 48 hours. Because why? I'll tell you why. It's the surrounding areas with the periphery of the valley that comes with the hilly areas, and the government have identified even trouble spots, some 20, 30 trouble spots. Let's say it is 40,000. For every trouble spot, if these 50, 60,000 strong security forces, out of this 1,000 troops have been kept, then this violence cannot have happened at all.
Why do you think the central government did not act and stop this in 48 hours? You're saying they could have if they wanted to. Why do you think they didn't?
That's the whole question I'm asking. From the very beginning, World Meitei Council is saying, give us, suppose, if we are in the shoes of in their own shoes, we could control it within 24 hours. It's a small area, small place. Very few.
But why do you think they haven't? You must have an answer.
That is the thing. That is the thing. We said, please abrogate this shoe, because shoe has given the immunity.
No, we're going back to Sue. You said twice the same sort of thing. First, with relevance to Biren Singh, you said he could have stopped it in 24 hours. On the 3rd of May, the 4th of May, he failed. The DGP failed, the whole system failed. That was at the Imphal level. Then the centre came in. You're saying the centre could have stopped it in 48 hours. They didn't either. So it's a very interesting situation we have. Both the Chief Minister could have stopped it but failed. Then the Home Minister could have stopped it but failed. And you must have asked yourself this question: why are they failing to do something they can easily attempt and succeed? What's the answer you give yourself?
That's what I'm asking. Why the Prime Minister, why the Central Commission is not stopping it? In fact, it's hurting us more than anyone.
Do you think they want it to continue?
That's a very strange question, because if they want to continue, do they think that we are not Indians? We are not part of India, where they can sacrifice our state for their own interest?
Why do you think Biren Singh didn't stop the violence in the first 36 hours? Did he want it to happen?
I don't know that. But the thing is, why in the first 2 hours they could have done it? But in the first 2 hours, the state machinery was there, state police were there, all the samurai
But they didn't act.
They didn't do that. Why?
Did they not get orders from Biren Singh?
That is the thing.
Why did he not give those orders?
That is the thing. I don't know why.
Was he asleep?
The BC, the Vice President was there. I think he must have.
But the Vice President was gone on the 3rd evening. What happened on the 4th?
According to Biren Singh, he said he's in touch with every hour with the Home Minister. Because the Home Minister, if given the authority, the order to the Assam Rifles, they could have done it.
But there's something very strange you're suggesting. You're not saying it, but you're suggesting it, that there seems to be some sort of, I'm using the word carefully, conspiracy between Biren Singh and the Home Minister. Both are capable of acting, neither acts, and you say they're in touch with each other all the time.
They only claim, the Minister only said that every time he's in touch with the Home Minister.
Okay. We've discussed at great length, at a very quarrelsome length in fact, the manner in which the state government and the manner in which the central government have handled the crisis. I want to come now to two issues of concern that worry people. These are things that suggest that maybe there's potential for the situation to get worse. In recent weeks, the United Naga Council has twice issued statements that suggest that the Naga community, this is the Naga community in Manipur, are tilting towards the Meitei. First, The United Naga Council called for a national register of citizens to detect illegal immigrants from Myanmar. Now, you know that is a Meitei demand. And when the Nagas want the same thing, it looks to the Kuki as if the Nagas are siding with the Kuki. Then, just about 6, 7, 8 days ago, the same United Naga Council issued a statement. It accuses the Kukis of, and I'm now quoting, blatant lies, lopsided history, and fabricated information contained in every statement and memorandum issued by the Kuki-Zo community. Many people look at these two statements and say, are the Nagas about to get involved in the Kuki-Meitei struggle? Are they taking sides? What's your fear? Do you think that's happening?
I don't think. Naga has their own idea. We also have an idea. We don't want to make it more and more worse. In fact, who wants war? Nobody wants. Especially the Meiteis don't want war.
So then why are the Nagas taking sides?
That is a perception, because at the beginning, in early 90s, they had to use these things. And of course, you must be knowing these immigrant people. Of course, we accept that there's one of us, but they should have lived peacefully, responsibly.
I'll tell you why I asked this question about the United Naga Council, because in an interview he gave me earlier this week.
Who gave you?
I'll tell you, the editor-in-chief of the Frontier Manipur, Biren Ambrose Sadokpam, said to me that he is very worried that this stand taken by the Nagas could make the situation, and I'm quoting him, considerably worse. He thinks that in fact a Kuki-Meitei problem could now become also a Kuki-Naga problem, right? And you could have the situation in Manipur deteriorating. That's what he said to me on air, which is why I'm asking you.
I don't think. Why the Nagas will spoil their image, will spoil their Indo-Nagato? If they get involved in this, they will spoil their image, they will spoil their credibility. I don't think.
Are you worried, even if this doesn't result in a Kuki-Naga problem, which is what Biren Sadokpam was suggesting could happen, are you worried that the Nagas could use this opportunity to push for Nagalem? After all, there are separate talks happening between the Muiwa group and the government. They've been stalled for many years, but you know that the Muiwa group wants a united Nagaland, which they call Nagalem. Your own Nagas, the Ukhul Nagas, want to join with Nagaland. Are you worried that this could be a way of encouraging that?
I'm not much worried, because the changing dynamics of politics doesn't stop anywhere. It's a very serious game. We also playing our own parts. Each party are playing their own parts. I'm not much worried.
Okay. There's one other community in Manipur, which is the Meitei Pangal. They're roughly 8.4% of the population. They're one of the smallest communities. The Meitei are 53%, the Naga 24%, the Kuki are 16%, the Meitei Pangal are just 8.4%. Their spokesman told me last week that they are very insecure. His words were, "We are completely shattered." He says they are caught in between the Kuki and the Meitei and they are being torn apart.
I agree with him, because not only Meitei Pangal, each and every community living in Manipur are, in fact, feel very insecure. Even the business community, there are so many Hindustanis in Manipur, UPs, Biharis.
You call them Hindustanis?
In the sense, we say Hindustani, normally it is known by them. So UPs, Bengalis, Biharis.
So insecurity
they
has
have
increased.
All of them. Yeah.
Then let's end this interview by talking, what is it, against this background of our discussion, that the government needs to do first to restore law and order? If the Home Minister were to ring you and say, "Give me your advice," what would you tell him to do?
I would like to say, please stop this violence.
How?
Activate the security, 50,000 strong Indian security forces. Why can't they stop it? In less than 24 hours, they can stop it. They know each and every corner. They have all the maps. They have everything. It's a power in the world, Indian army. Everywhere they are omnipresent. In every nook and corner they are there. They can stop it.
So once again, we are saying that the government is to blame for the fact it hasn't stopped.
The government of India. It's the government of India.
The government of India is to blame.
Yeah.
Which means the Home Minister.
Naturally.
Which means the Prime Minister.
Naturally.
Let me put this to you. The Meitei want the Assam police replaced. They believe the Assam police is prejudiced against the Meitei. They believe the Assam police often takes the side
Assam
of
rifle.
the
Assam rifle. You mean Assam rifle?
Assam rifle. My apologies. Do you think, leaving the facts aside, because of the perception alone, the Assam rifles should be replaced?
I think it would be better because they have very good connection with the Chin cookies. They live like side by side. They become families.
If the Assam
you must have seen in videos if playing with these, living together with these Chin cookie people. And whenever these Chin cookie people do, they support,
If the Assam rifles are replaced, will the situation improve?
I think, and on top
Are you
of
saying
it,
yes or no?
yes.
What about the opposite? The cookies say the Manipur police should
No,
not
we
be...
are not. Manipur is so ineffective.
No.
We don't count on Manipur police. We also don't count on Manipur police.
Let me finish the question. The cookies say the Manipur police should not be allowed into the hill areas because the Manipur police are totally identified with the Meitei. Again, leave the facts aside, that's their perception. Should that also be agreed to? The Manipur police restrained and stopped from going into the hill country.
Mr. Karan, this is not only yesterday. From the very beginning, these Sinku people say, please don't come Manipur police. They act as if, that is what I am saying.
Well, let's be honest, the problem the Meitei have with the Assam rifles is also not new. It's traditional. It's been there for years. If you can agree to the idea of replacing the Assam rifles, why not agree to the idea of stopping the Manipur police going into the high hill country?
This is part of Manipur. What they are talking, and the top brass are all cookies. The DG is the cookie. The additional DG
was
all are
replaced
cookies.
within 24 hours of the Home Minister going there. Let's be honest. The cookie DGP was replaced.
He was not
A new
replaced within
DGP was
hours.
brought in.
That too much later. But the thing is, it's a Manipur. It's a state of Manipur.
I'll point out to you one thing that people listening to you will say. When he was asked about a Meitei demand, replace the Assam rifles, he agreed. When he was asked about a cookie demand, don't let the Manipur police go into the hill country, he disagreed. You're speaking now as a Meitei, not as a genuine Manipuri.
No, what do you mean by genuine Manipuri? One thing, let me tell you one thing. Is Churasanpur not a part of Manipur? Is Kangpopi not a part of Manipur? Is More not a part of Manipur? If you say that they are not part of Manipur, then okay. Why Manipur police should be there?
Let me put another thing. The army say restraints must be put on the Mira Paibi. They block roads. They block convoys. In fact, the Hindu has reported that at least on one occasion, maybe more, the Mira Paibi have looted army convoys of substantial quantities of food. Should a restraint be placed on the Mira Paibi as the army would want?
The point is, the credibility of the Assam rifles has gone down so low that Meitei Pibis, they feel that they are working for these Sinkuki people. That is why they are doing that. If the credibility is retained, there will be no problem.
Should we have president's rule?
Is it any different with the present arrangement? It is totally central rule state, except the chief ministers there.
Okay.
Totally.
Then my last question. We've reached a situation where you believe both Biren Singh and the Home Minister at different times could have acted to stop the problem. They didn't. The problems continued. They're not changing anything. Biren Singh remains. The Home Minister is not changing anything. So do you see anything changing in the future? Do you see peace and harmony returning?
I think till the election completes, I don't think much
Which
of a
election?
change.
2024?
This parliament election, 2024. I don't think much of a change.
You mean the situation in Manipur will continue like this
Yeah,
till
I think so.
May of next year?
Yes. So what? This is the thing. That is why we are saying that we are not part of the Indian system.
What about these talks? What about these talks that are happening? Yesterday, the Home Minister spoke to Kokomi. Earlier, he's spoken to the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum. Are those talks leading to some sort of reconciliation, or is this just an exercise in futility?
Yes, in exercise in futility. In fact, the whole thing depends on in the hands of the Prime Minister. If he wants to stop it, he can do it in 40 or less than 48 hours. That's all. We know the ground rule, the situation. Manipur is not a normal place now.
Mr. Nabashyam, we've come right to the end of this interview. And I'm going to ask you a question which you've in a sense answered before, but I want the audience to hear your answer clearly. You really believe that if the Prime Minister were to himself personally step in and act, he can sort out the crisis in Manipur in 24 hours?
Yes.
In other words, you're saying one man, Narendra Modi, has the power to sort out the crisis, but he won't do it.
Yes, the Prime Minister can stop it within 24 hours.
And by not doing it, by not stepping in, is he being irresponsible?
At least in our case, at least in the case of Manipur.
So would you accept that when it comes to Manipur, the Prime Minister has failed Manipur?
Yes, in case of Manipur.
I'll use this as my headline.
Yes, sure.
The Prime Minister has failed Manipur.
Yes.
You really believe that?
I believe.
Mr. Nabashyam, thank you very much indeed. Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch The Interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.